Here's to the golden moon, here's to the silvery sea, but most of all, here's a toast to you and to me, and breakfast with Bob. Chee-hoo.
Thank you, Poncho Man. How about a round of applause for our man, Poncho Man? Welcome, everybody. Championship edition. Breakfast with Bob. My name is Bob Babbitt. We're brought to you by HOKA One, by Polar, by Halo Neuroscience, by Velofix. Today's plan, Normatec, and we are here at beautiful Four Seasons Resort, Hualalai. Also brought to you by Triathlete Magazine. Our next guest, second place yesterday. Huge breakthrough. Give it up for Bart Aernouts. Way to go, Bart. Great race yesterday. We've chatted a number of times over the years, and you've been, 7, 8, 9, 12. You've had a lot of different places around the top 10, but second place yesterday, that's feel pretty special.
Yeah, it was yesterday was an amazing day, and I never expected it really. But I know if you do well in Kona and you're top 10, the next step is to try to get on the podium. And on a perfect day, it's always possible. And yesterday was just a perfect day for me.
One of the things you've done this year is you're now working with two-time Ironman World Champion Luc van Lierde, who broke the course record first time out. One of the legends of our sport. And what has he brought to the table for you? How has he helped you?
I think, it's a similar approach as I used to work. So it's not. Everything is not different,
right?
But it's just the experience, as an athlete. He raced the race a couple of times himself. He won the race twice. He also coached Frederik van Lierde to his win. So I think it's just a combination of a lot of experience from his side, my experience on the island, and I think we found a good way to prepare and to get ready for this race, and execute on race day and hope for a perfect day.
Speaking of perfect day, you've raced here a lot of times. Was the weather yesterday the best you've ever had here?
Yeah, the bike was for sure, there was nearly no wind. And I'm not sure if it's, for me, an advantage or not. Because if you're strong on the bike on race day, then often with brutal conditions, it's maybe even easier to make a difference. But in the end, you can't help it. I raced the race. It was my 7th time yesterday, and I've experienced a lot of different circumstances here in Hawaii, so that's how I prepare. You never know what's going to happen on the race day, and it's nice to do a really fast race in Hawaii. It's super nice, but in the end, I would also have been very happy with brutal conditions.
And the other, usually you're off the bike in 15th, 18th, something like that.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of pressure. You're feeling like, oh my God, to get back in the top 10, I got to pass. It's not like you're passing me. You're passing people who are real athletes, and you're trying to get into the top 10. The difference yesterday when you come off the bike in 5th place?
Yeah, it makes a big difference. It's maybe a bit harder to stay patient and smart beginning of the run because you're excited, you're in a great position. And but what I learned from the other years that is you should never give up here in Kona. It's never finished, and I think it gave me a lot of mental strength just to start this race and know just push through. There is always a nice surprise at the end of the race if you feel well and you stay patient and calm. And yesterday was just an amazing feeling to start in a great position at the marathon, and I tried to do my best to finish it off with a really good result yesterday.
Earlier in the year, Ironman Hamburg, the swim was canceled, but you won the race and ran 2:39. I'm guessing you gain a little bit of confidence when you run that type of marathon.
Yeah, for sure. I know my first Ironmans actually. I was also running 2:37 1 year, so I had some really good run splits. But I think what was different in Hamburg was that I had a really solid bike and I felt really strong the second half of the bike. And that's actually where we were working on, me and Luke, because that's what you need in Kona. It's the second part on the bike where the big difference is made. And in Hamburg was a very good sign that I could make my move at the end of the bike. And I did the same yesterday on race day, because the first half I stayed really calm, and actually I was losing time. I was not following Lionel. But I was just waiting, and for the second half, actually for the last 40 miles, because then that's where the race starts.
So you go 7:56:41, which on any other day is the greatest time in the history of Ironman, right? First person to be under 8, but then you got this guy, Patrick Lange. And you came off the bike with Patrick. And you're in a great place. You're 5th off the bike. You're with the guy who holds a course record, holds a run course record. He's run 2:39 here. How long were you able to stay with Patrick?
Actually, I was running in front of Patrick the first 6 miles, I think, on Ali. But he was not far behind, and I know I run by feeling, and I think he's a bit similar, you know. If you don't feel great, take it a bit easier. He's also very experienced in running a good marathon, you know, not just doing a good race, but he's a smart runner.
Right.
And he never gets it wrong in the marathon. So I'm a bit similar, but I run by feeling, and I thought it doesn't mean a lot if you're in first position or pushing it really hard at the beginning. It's the end of the marathon. And yeah, when he made his move, I think it was mile 6 or at the end of Ali drive, quite early. I thought it's too fast. It's probably a big risk to try to follow and just do your own pace.
So the confidence you gain from finishing second in the most important race on earth, how does that carry you into the off season and then for next year?
Yeah, that's what I have to find out. But I think it's really nice to finally have a perfect race in Hawaii, which is quite hard. The end of the season, it's everybody tries to do. Everybody is at the best shape here going into this race, and I think it's not easy. And I'm gonna have to figure out how to approach the race next year as maybe more of a favorite for a podium at least. Now nobody was talking about me the last week, and I actually liked it.
You liked it, right? Being on the radar a little bit. But then next year, you sort of have to plan on, obviously everybody's going to want to interview you, right? Of course, you have to come on Breakfast with Bob. But everybody's going to want to interview you, and as a professional athlete, you want that. You want people and sponsors to want to be connected with Bart Aernouts. So I'm sure you and Luke has gone through this before, will work on that aspect of it and figure out how to balance not just racing and training, but all the media that's going to come along.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's a really nice challenge, you know, like there's always a new challenge, and for me now it's going to be going into this race as a bigger favorite than I used to be. So it's a new challenge, and I'm looking forward to it. And it doesn't scare me, and I was never a guy that feels a lot of pressure from the outside. I try to put myself under pressure, but don't feel the pressure from others. You know, in the end, you should stay calm and just do your own thing. And I'm happy to talk about it with everybody next year, but I'm not sure if I'm going to feel a lot of extra pressure.
So back home in Belgium, what's been the reaction so far to your second place?
Yeah, it's crazy how many messages you get, and it's, you know, we're a country where triathlon got really popular since Luke won here as the first European. Frederick won the race, so I'm the 5th Belgian guy on the podium. So they know this race, and it's always been a busy week in Belgium for triathlon. You know, everybody's really following the race, and it's nice to get so much nice words and positive feedback from home. And actually, it makes me very happy to see so many happy and proud people. That's what actually means the most to me, that you can make so many people happy with just performing well on race day.
Has the sport gotten bigger in Belgium obviously when Luke wins it twice and Freddie wins it in 2013? How much bigger has the sport gotten?
Yeah, I think it's still a growing sport, especially in numbers.
Yes.
It's a popular sport, and I think these days a lot of athletes people are looking for the new challenge, and a lot of them did a marathon already, and triathlon is the next step. And it's nice to see a sport growing. You know, it makes me very happy, and I hope it can keep growing like this. And I hope to see a lot of new and more triathletes in Belgium.
How about a round of applause for Mr. Bart Aernouts, second place. And here comes our man, Poncho Man, still running. I like it.
Here's to the golden moon, here's to the silvery sea. Most of all, here's a toast to you and to me. Oh, brass fits with Bob. Chee-hoo.
Poncho Man.
Woo. Barely made it.